Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts back once again with another reaction for you guys. Today guys, we're starting a brand new show on the channel today. It's Transformers Prime, the show that replaced X-Men Evolution. This is Season 1, Episode 1, Darkness Rising Part 1. Now, this is going to be interesting because Transformers Prime here is a fantastic show, and for me, I like the Transformers. I like them. I'm not really the biggest fan of the Transformers, and so the question is for me, is this going to turn me around in terms of actually going from they're pretty solid, the Transformers, to I really like the Transformers now? And apparently this is the best show and that this is insane and people are so excited. And the thing was, just like years ago when Ben 10 was put on a poll and it was winning the entire time, Transformers Prime was on the poll. And I wasn't expecting it to win. It was winning the entire time when the poll was live. Winning the entire time. There was no point where another show was winning. Transformers Prime was the clear winner by like 40 or 50 votes. So it was like clear this is the show everyone wants me to see, at least the majority of people want me to see over the others. So I'm excited for this. I'm excited to see what's going to happen because I've only seen the image. Maybe something else, maybe on Twitter, who knows, but like the promo image that I used for the poll and everything to put together the selection, that's all that I've really seen that I know of. If I've seen anything else, I just don't remember it or I don't understand the context. And if it was the same thing, is because there's a bunch of Transformers animated stuff over the years. I don't know what is what, right? I don't even know. So let's dive in, guys. Let's check it out and let's begin this new journey of a new show. Let's get into it and see what it's all about, guys. Let's go.
We're alone wherever we travel on this rock cliff.
I'm getting a signal. I just found a whole lot of energon.
Energon, the way he said the Energon. Holy crap. Oh. Cool.
Arcee,
Alright.
About that backup.
And then the sound, yeah. Oh, don't cut away.
Ratchet, do you have
That classic voice.
coordinates? Bumblebee, rendezvous back at base
yes.
and prepare to ground bridge.
Slow-mo. Holy crap. I'm starting to think, is this The Rock voicing this character?
The Energon. It's worthless to me now.
Scream. It's been a while.
Starscream? Oh.
So, where's your master?
Any more questions?
They just killed... Okay, they just killed him. Okay.
Clean that up.
They're too late. It's cool to see them show up, but it's too late.
If they're scouting for Energon, they may be preparing for his return.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Ratchet, can you track his position?
We're alone wherever we travel on this rock cliff.
The one called Arcee.
As of today, only we 5 Autobots remain on this Earth.
Damn.
We owe it to ourselves, and we owe it to the memory of our fallen comrade. To survive.
Standing around here sulking won't bring him back.
Fair point.
So unless anyone minds, I think I'll get back to protecting humankind.
Humans.
Okay, dose
Okay.
numero
I mean, it
two.
makes sense to have
Anything
humans, but I didn't know. Yeah,
They paid for that.
of course they were going to steal it. Careful. Yep, of course.
Take 5, Sadie.
I'm not going to the dance. Experience suggests
Dance?
I should never cut a
Go to
rug,
the dance.
unless I'm installing carpet. I love you.
What?
Yeah, I love you too, Mom. I
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
run. Hello, beautiful. I am gonna own a ride like you someday.
Are you talking to your motorcycle?
Jack Darby?
Jack Darby. Oh, careful, Jack Darby. So this is how he gets involved in the story. Okay.
Do not let go.
Who said that?
The bike. Careful.
I don't exist. Tell anyone about me and I will hunt you down.
Whoa. I don't even know her.
Point, you don't, but now you're kind of intertwined now. Okay, Bumblebee's here. Damn. This wasn't done, of course.
Hi, Mama. Racing. Right up the street.
I like how all of a sudden the road is closed. Like, there's no signs beforehand. Yeah, they're still not done chasing you.
This ends here, cons.
Okay. They're bad shots. Damn. Where's Bumblebee at? I mean, no, he got into a wreck. Come on. There he is. Aww. Stand up to him, kid. Go for it.
Please? Thank you.
Can you understand him? I don't think so.
Don't look back.
Come on, you gotta work together. You gotta work together. Was Optimus? Nope.
Who's ready to rumble? If the Decepticons are targeting us, anyone perceived as an ally
exactly.
will be a grave risk.
Raph, hey.
Raph?
Look, let's just keep this between us and forget anything ever happened, okay?
Yours is over there.
So the kid understands Bumblebee. Alright,
Look,
I guess.
I really don't think that...
How's it going?
Raph?
Coolest bike ever.
And it's gonna move. It's gone. Yep, that fast. You didn't hear it rev up the engine or anything, it just moves.
Kid, there's a lot you don't understand.
No, I get it. I get it. The first rule of Robot Fight
It's
Club
weird.
is you don't talk about Robot Fight Club.
Look, Jack, is it? Your personal safety is exactly why Optimus Prime has requested your presence.
Wait, Optimus who?
What are you waiting for? Go with! Scrap.
Of course he's there too, because she saw, okay.
And why exactly are we taking her?
I thought there were two.
Well,
Haven't you heard?
accidentally,
Humans
yeah.
multiply.
I'm Raph.
Ever use a wrecking ball for a punching bag?
A lot of questions.
So if you guys are robots, who made you?
Why are you here?
To protect your planet from the Decepticons. They are here because our planet is uninhabitable, ravaged by centuries of civil war. The combat was
We're seeing it,
fierce
okay.
and endured for centuries. But in war, ideals can be corrupted. And it was thus Megatron lost his way. Megatron has not been seen nor heard from in some time.
Okay.
But if his
So he's gonna
return
come
is
back,
imminent,
okay.
as I fear.
Is that... maybe? Maybe?
I have returned.
I wasn't expecting it right away, okay. And there you guys have it. That was episode 1 of Transformers Prime. And overall, pretty interesting for the first episode of the show here. Now, before we get to everything else, the animation. I like the design in terms of the characters and the direction they're going with. It's just a little jarring for me because you can tell at times they're cutting corners and, you know, finding shortcuts because some of the shots or whatever when characters are doing stuff, there's nothing really going on behind them. Like they're really like cutting around and making the focus just on like the actual Autobots and the villains and everything, and then some of the human characters we got introduced to, and then everything else. It's kind of like they got stuff like shown, but like this, like the town area or whatever, hardly really anything. You see buildings, but there's hardly anybody at all. Like it's, you know, they're cutting corners, but I get it. It's because of the look of the show, so they have to cut corners because the more time they spend on background shots and all this kind of stuff, it takes more time out from actually producing and making the show. So anyways, ramble over. Now, to the actual beginning of the story here, in terms of this first episode, I like the setup. I think it's pretty simple in terms of like, okay, Megatron's gonna come back, and he shows up at the very end. Like he literally, like I was expecting not in the first episode because they were literally talking about Megatron's been seen for some time. I didn't think he was going to show up in episode 1, but here he is. Hearing, of course, Optimus Prime, Peter Cullen, it's always phenomenal. And I was right, because I actually have the voice cast pulled up here. It was The Rock who was voicing Cliff Jumper, the Decepticon, the Autobot, that died in the very first like couple of minutes of the episode. Like, that was him. I'm thinking, and at first I'm going, that voice sounds familiar. I'm thinking, and then I'm started thinking, is that The Rock? No, it's probably not. I'm like, it really does sound like The Rock. Like, there's some times where there's some dialogue, I'm questioning it. Other times I'm like, that sounds like Dwayne. That sounds like The Rock. So it was actually him, but he voiced the character that died like right away. So he's not gonna be needed anymore. The introduction of the Autobots, interesting. The kid characters, which I actually have the voice cast put up for the kids. So Miko, Jack Darby, which is like the kid who fell in love with the motorcycle, of course, Arcee, and then we have Raph. Miko, we really don't know anything about her character. Jack works at like a fast food place, and Raph's just some kid who was racing like a toy car or whatever, and then the kind of fighting goes down. Here's the thing. For me, I know human characters have always been a part of some sort of story when it comes to Transformers. We'll have to wait and see on it. We're going to have to wait and see. Because for me, it's one of the things I actually really don't like that much about Transformers. Then again, like, I'm not really like into it. So maybe if I gave more Transformers like type, you know, shows and other things like that more of a chance, or just more of like the idea of the Transformers more of a chance, maybe I would be understanding of it more. But like the movies, which a lot of people don't want to talk about the movies, but the movies that they did over the years with Michael Bay and shit, a lot of those films were horrible, and one of the things is because of the human characters are just terrible. Don't know hardly anything about these characters, so I can't really say too much on the humans, but I'm just saying we'll have to give it a shot. It's one of those things I'm going to have to really just... And also Josh Keaton is voicing Jack, which is like, I recognize Josh's voice. I'm like, I think that's Josh Keaton, and it is. It's confirmed. But we'll see on the I keep saying kids, but they are kids. But we'll see on the human characters. We'll see. I'm curious if they're going to introduce more. I'm assuming they're going to have to, because I don't think you can tell an entire story of 3 seasons with these 3 kids alone. That's my guess. Maybe I'm wrong. The actual Autobots itself, I mean, they don't really explain too much besides they're protecting Earth. And I really don't think you need to explain too much in the first episode. I mean, you could definitely do that, but I think that this show, in terms of its first episode, was like, okay, let's introduce the Autobots. Let's introduce another one that dies by Starscream. And then we're teasing up Megatron, which he shows up. And then we have a little bit of discussion in terms of like telling the human characters about what happened, you know, and kind of like the war and everything. And then we got to see it kind of going down a little bit. And then how Megatron lost his way, and how he was connected and stood alongside Optimus Prime, and how everything kind of fell apart. We got a little bit, and then Miko, which is interesting, a little dialogue here. She's like, "Is there gonna be a quiz?" Like the idea of like, okay, you're really info dumping a little bit, so is there gonna be a quiz afterwards? But they could have easily done a lot more. But instead, they're like, okay, let's just get right into the action. We're gonna have a special guest star, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, as a Autobot that's gonna die right away, and we're gonna introduce the fact that they're here and they're searching for this Energon. I think that's what they called it, Energon, because of the return of Megatron. He's coming, and correct, he is. So we'll see. Like I said, I like the design of the actual animation style of the characters, but the humans, we'll have to wait and see on that. But in terms of the actual setup, I'm intrigued. You know, I think it could have been done better, in my opinion. I think they could have definitely introduced this show, I think, better, because even though it's, hey, The Rock was in the show, I don't know if you needed to have The Rock voicing a one-off character that was going to die immediately. Don't think it was necessary. But I get the point. I mean, look, if The Rock wanted to be a Transformer or something, or if they just got him and he would, because back then the show was like years before he really blew up like he has now in terms of popularity. It's probably easier to get him back then. But I don't know if it was necessary for him to voice a character. It would be different if he voiced a character for almost the entire episode, then Starscream kills him at the end. Having him just kind of be there, because you don't really get to see his connection to the rest of them. I think that's, now I'm getting more into, you know, because I was like, I think I'm going to wrap this up a little early, the review, but no, because the more I kept thinking about it, it's like, okay, they could have had Cliffjumper have more of a role in the first episode, and that means The Rock is doing more lines, but still, you get to see more of like, okay, what's the dynamic between Cliff and the rest of the 5 Autobots that are here, and then when he dies at the end, then it's more of an impact for our characters, because you get to see a little bit of how it's affecting Arcee and everything, but, and Optimus has this like really, you know, big speech about the death and everything, and how we're honoring and helping protect Earth. But we really didn't get to see the connection, because also Arcee said when, you know, Jack was, you know, like holding on for dear life, who is that? It's Bumblebee. Family. It's not a friend, it's family, which is like, I'm thinking Fast and Furious, like The Rock, like all the connections there. But if that's how they, if they're really family, right? To get to the words, if they're really family, then we should have seen more of Cliff's interaction with them for it to make more of an impact. But maybe it's more for shock value. Like, okay, we're starting a new Transformers show. We're going to kill a character within the first 2 minutes. And maybe that was the gist of it. Maybe. Action was pretty good as well. I'm thinking more about it too. The action was pretty well in terms of seeing the different real robots going at each other. I think one of the other big criticisms about the films, live action wise, well, not, you know, because there's definitely better ones than others, but especially when you get to the really bad ones in Michael Bay, the action is just like so convoluted and there's so many things happening. It's kind of hard to keep track. At least here, it's very obvious what's happening and everything in terms of the action and all that. But I'm, you know, we'll see what happens in episode 2. I'm definitely, you know, intrigued to see more because I think that they're setting up some interesting things in terms of like Megatron's return. What does that mean for Earth and all that? Because there's some direction they possibly could go with that. And so I think because he's not really here yet. I mean, or maybe he is, but we'll see. Maybe it'll pick up. But I think overall, pretty solid start. And yeah, let's see what they do with episode 2. Let's see what happens here. So fingers crossed that the human characters are not going to be really a negative, because I can't really say too much because we only got to really see, you know, Jack and kind of what his life is as working at a fast food place. Miko was just drawing a picture of the bike and just happened to be there at the moment when, you know, Arcee became her robot self and then was talking to Jack, and then there she is like, you should go with them. It's like, okay, now you're involved too. So what the wait, and then Raph, of course, the little kid as well. It's like I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how they're gonna bring them in terms of like the story and make it work. Because honestly, I think I think what they're setting up. I mean, yeah, you may want to have some human elements, but maybe it could also work without any human characters at all. Like I think because they have 5 Autobots, and they also have, of course, other villains, Megatron, Starscream. They have these other characters that they could definitely jump into and focus on. I don't know if we need human characters. But that's just me after watching episode 1, not really being the biggest fan of Transformers, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm going to go into it further as we go along and go, you know what? The human characters are needed here. But we'll see. We'll see. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm curious to know your thoughts about the first episode of Transformers Prime. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to you guys soon. Peace out.